Last year, Zwift Academy opened its doors, launching a groundbreaking worldwide talent search to find the next pro rider for Canyon SRAM racing. The competition exceeded all expectation. Over 1,200 women from 51 countries signed up to take the challenge in Zwift. In a truly grand finale, on the island of Majorca at Canyon SRAM's training camp, Leah Thorvaldsen of Little Rock, Arkansas, was crowned 2016 Zwift Academy champion and the newest member of Canyon SRAM Racing. This year, it could be you.
Oh wow, I could have a shot at a pro contract, but it's for anyone. It's a huge step forward in your own fitness, and so it's not all just about the one person who's going to get a pro contract. It's a win for everyone who's involved.
Zwift Academy is this great program where Zwift is trying to get the women more involved. It's just this huge, to me, a great community. There's women coming up going, I get how this could fit into my life.
What I think is so nice about Zwift Academy, I really think that it was inspiring lots of women to take part in this adventure. Maybe they've gone far beyond their own expectations.
How far I got in Zwift, there were 1,200 females that joined, and there were 100 females that finished Zwift, and I can't believe I was one of them.
Yes, it's hard, but come on, you can do it, you know, just do your best, because it's not just the physical side, it's the determination and to boost your confidence in anything else you do, not just cycling.
Find out how strong you really are. Find new friends from around the world. Find out if you have what it takes to go pro.
Do not wait, just follow your dreams.
Be the best cyclist you can be. Head over to academy.zwift.com to find out more and sign up today.
Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the Zwift Community Live broadcast of the Primal-Europe Friday Criterium Summer TT Series, presented here on Zwift Community Live. We are live right now on Mixer, Twitch, YouTube, as well as Facebook, coming at you with, it will be 23.3 miles, 37.5 miles of time trialing, as well as we are going to cover a little bit of the race going on for the D category. So the A, Bs, and Cs are all doing a TT today, and the D category will be doing their own race for 2 laps out on the Watopia Flat. But 3 laps on the Volcano Flat is happening right now, and we actually are in and amongst some of the racing already getting underway. Now, the difference today, some of you may be asking, what are you talking about TT? Because usually you've been watching some broadcasting of the races of straight up pack racing, but out on course today we have a TT effort, and the way that this works out on Zwift is rather than starting individuals separately in a time trial. So if you're watching something like the Tour de France or you're watching some other time trial races, prologues, etc., the racers out in those are all started separate times so that they do not bunch up. Out on Zwift though, the riders are able to choose a time trial bike, and because of that, they are able to have a situation where they can all mass start together, but yet at the same time, they will not draft off of each other because the TT bike cannot draft on anyone else. There is no drafting when you select the TT bike. As you can see here, we have D. Bailey busting out a solid 4.8 watts per kilogram here, being followed up by Peter Szerzynski here out of Poland, and they are flying along at about 28 miles per hour. Now, Bailey cannot hold the wheel of anyone around him and get any kind of draft, but this other rider who actually did not select the TT bike, he will be disqualified from the race, actually. Sorry to say, Prosaic, he can't win the category anyways because he's on the Go-Go Power Rangers Z Power, but Bailey here, he actually cannot, he's not drafting or getting any kind of draft from the rider ahead of him. Peter here as well, along with Hodges. All of these riders are on TT bikes, and because of that, they are simply in a race of truth against each other. So first one across the line essentially in this mass start race is going to be the winner today without any kind of pack tactics. The main thing that we'll be able to cover today is where are people at, what are they doing for their power, how they are turning the pedals, and how well they are holding on to the gaps they currently have. Looks like we do have a pretty good battle here though, starting to develop between Bailey, Szerzynski, Hodges, and Little at this point. And Burton is there a little ways off the back now at 4.5 watts per kilogram. And one of the things that is definitely going to change in this race is really we are going to see the ability levels in pure all-out power on a flatter course really start to shine. As you can see here, a few riders might have gone out a little hot. Kim Little here may be one of the favorites for the W today, putting out a solid 390, 370 watts. We are only 650 in or so, about 153. I have a feeling we're going to see some extremely high heart rates by the end of this race. But a TT effort like this is going to be all about managing the resources that you have. 3 laps on the Volcano Flat, we're going to see times probably right around 40 to 50 minutes, I would say, out here on course for the duration of the race. If you have any questions or comments coming through, make sure to bring them our way. Because this is a TT and we're not going to see a lot of tactics playing out there, we'll make our way through the entire pack to see how people are doing, look at some of their past results, and really dive into what Zwift is along with what Zwift Power is and what these resources are from the community that we are able to use to see all of the riders' current information and what they are getting done out on course, as well as what they've got done in some past races. It's also a great broadcast to bring any questions, comments, or interaction to the broadcast today. I am seeing over at the Mixer page, Super Oscar over there saying, hi, how's it going, Super Oscar? Good to see you. If you have any questions whatsoever, please bring them our way and we will definitely answer them. If you have not seen Zwift before, this is a massive multiplayer online game in which these riders are actually pedaling in order to power the avatars forward that you are seeing in front of them right in front of you right now. So Kim Little here right along with Peter Szerzynski, both of them putting out solid wattages into that 4.5 to 5 watts per kilogram in the A category here. 175 beats per minute though coming from Peter here. Kim Little still in that 151. Actually, this is something I need to check out here because Kim, how low does he beat is the question I've got here. Looking through, and I can see the riders now. Actually, let's go through the race information actually really quickly. So power-ups are obviously not going to be allowed because you cannot get them actually in the game when you have a TT bike. Power-ups are disabled for the TT bike. So that's one of the differences again between the regular bikes and the TT bike. When you jump onto that TT bike, you actually have no ability to have any power-ups whatsoever, and then the draft is taken away. On top of that, the advantage though is the TT bike does travel faster than any other bike out on course. The question is then, why do they not use them more often? Some of the racers actually ban the TT bike. They make it so you cannot use it because it's such an advantage perhaps, or they just want to make things like regular racing. At the same time, a lot of people don't even use the TT bike though if they are a part of a regular race, because the draft is so incredibly advantageous to be using out on Zwift. So then we are seeing for the rules here, all riders need to register with ZwiftPower.com and with Strava in order to be counted in the race. Females will be included, women will be included in their category, and the result will be published on the TFC Facebook page. It's a separate ladies league. Note that Zwift Power or Z Power riders with an average watts per kilogram over the duration of the race of greater than 3.99 watts per kilogram will not be eligible for cat or race wins. So up at the front of the race, we are still seeing Prozac there coming out of the USA over category limit for sure. With Z Power, he will be relegated. They can be reinstated if real life matching performances are provided. That would be with a strain gauge, power meter, or the likes. So we'll have to see if Prozac does end up entering that in. So you might be wondering what I'm talking about there. He is on what is called Z-Power. Now, there's a lot of great, easy ways to get into the game of Zwift, but they have their different levels of accuracy. So at 432 watts here, hammering away off the front, he's absolutely killing it. D. Bailey trying to hang on with him at 158 beats per minute here, coming from the TFC team. Will go ahead and give him a ride on. Szerzynski now trying to get back on terms with the front of the race here, but he is actually on a power source that is from a speed sensor rather than a power meter or a smart trainer. And that's going to be one of the least accurate ways to measure the power out on Zwift. And so a lot of times when riders kind of putting out something that's over in this series, now that's up to the race organizers, in this series at 3.99 or higher, you are unable to take any kind of results or category wins in order to finish up with the race and be in the results for the Friday Criterium. That's what the rules are. And so the speed sensor, essentially, if you just kind of ramp up with your RPMs enough, because it's based on speed and a rotation, it's actually not so much as accurate to measure an actual force that is going into the pedals like a smart trainer, or the most accurate, a strain gauge power meter. Although it is the easiest way to get involved when it comes to price, and so a lot of times a pretty popular way to get into the games. A lot of riders though and racers at this point have jumped onto some sort of a smart trainer or power meter. A lot of the people who are out racing out on Zwift have been doing so for a while and have taken the efforts then to grab some sort of a power source that's going to be super accurate for them. Kim Little here making his way to the front now. Little by little, Kim Little is moving forward more and more in this race now. We do see Szerzynski there trying to hang on with him as they head into this climb. Kim now, as you can see, 6.0 watts per kilogram, not kicking into the 8. It isn't a race where you need to hang with anybody that's attacking. Again, no drafting. So it really is about conserving the efforts here. Peter now backing to 4.4 after that 8 watts per kilogram. I have a feeling Kim here is just going to keep it steady over and over again. Between 4.5 is what we're seeing, up into about 6.0. And now we see him backing off a little bit. But it is important on the climbs in a time trial to at least kick it a little bit and keep the speed as high as you possibly can, because the climbs are the place at which you can lose the most time. And so at least doing some sort of an effort. Now, not so much, though, that you would have to back off afterwards and lose a ton of speed. So it's all about that, keeping it as smart as you possibly can. But with gravity, time really can be gained on the climbs still. What's up, Lego Madi? No, it is not for Xbox One. But it is on PC. It is on iOS, so on your Apple iPad or on your phone, or it is also on Mac. It is coming to Android soon, so definitely available on a lot of platforms, but it is not available on Xbox One as of right now. I don't know if there's any plans as of yet to bring it to console. Szerzynski here, 5.0 watts per kilogram going up the back. Zwift is a multiplayer massive online game. These are people who are actually pedaling right now to power these avatars forward and race each other in this TT effort right now. Currently, Kim Little is trying to chase down Bailey. Only 28 seconds for Bailey. We'll see if Bailey has gone over the effort that he can hold for the duration of the race, or if he's going to be able to take the W on this one. Solid effort here for Bailey. I'm going to go ahead and check out what the current situation is for the live results at zwiftpower.com. Looking through here, Bailey's putting out a 5.1 watts per kilogram coming out of the US of A. 32 races out on Zwift, an estimated FTP of 275 watts. This is going to be an all-time best here for D. Bailey, up in that 440 or so, or 450 consistently all day long. What is this guy's max heart rate? Because this is absolutely craziness for how hard that he is going here. 100 and looking through, I'm not seeing a past result here for Bailey. He actually doesn't have any past results that are showing up with any of the metrics, though. I'm seeing a max heart rate of 170, 169, 167, 166. So definitely doesn't beat too much higher than this for his functional threshold power or functional threshold heart rate. With a max heart rate of 170, he is right on the edge right now. I'm not sure how much longer he's going to be able to hold this pace, actually. I think it's going to be full-on blow-up mode in just a moment here. Kim's still trying to hunt him down, though, and fading a little bit maybe, and that 5.0 or so. 156 beats per minute here coming from Kim Little. We'll see if he can hold on to this pace in today's time trial for the TFC. Now moving over back to Kim Little's profile. Kim maxes out at 183, 181, so definitely not super high heart rates for him, but he's definitely more into a tempo pace right now compared to what Bailey is putting out for his heart rates right now. Szerzynski now 12 seconds back. The gap is starting to go out. I'm not sure that pace that he was initially holding to try and hang on with Kim is going to be able to happen. As we finish up our first lap, the current order then will be Bailey with 30 seconds over Kim Little. Then Kim Little here with 12 seconds over Szerzynski. Third place there is going to be Szerzynski. Burton there trying to catch back up. Without that draft, though, 4.7, 4.8, 4.6 looks to be the averages that he's going to be holding right around for the duration today. We do have, for those of you who are tuning in on Mixer, if you are interested to check it out, I believe we also have another rider out on Zwift actually streaming right now his efforts. Doing a great job, it looks like. Mr. Rogers. Mr. Rogers is out on course, just so you guys know, hammering away, actually, for his efforts right now. You can actually check out Rogers on his channel live right now, and good to see him doing a great job for his test. Well, actually, now he's backed off. Rogers, what is going on here, man? No way. Come on now. We're not giving up. And I am seeing him over in the efforts right now. 17:45 into his total on his Mixer channel. So come on, Rogers, get it going here, buddy. So give him a little bit of encouragement if you can find him over on Mixer. His Mixer channel is mixer.com/Rogers. I can even share it up for you guys if you'd like to check it out. Hopefully he'll get into motion though here, Rogers. Come on now, buddy. Giving you a shout out. You got to go now. There's no messing around at all. It looks good, Legal Madi says. Good, thanks a lot. I'm not the one who made it, but it does look good, doesn't it? So Hodges is here at 3.5. James Hodges has raced like every day this week. What is going on here with Hodges? and racing almost every day. He's got to be tired at this point, I would think, and putting out a solid 150 beats per minute. Showing up and doing some tests, or I'm not sure. This is craziness how often we've been seeing him race, but 4.9 watts per kilogram for the duration of 13 kilometers so far. Still a super solid effort. Having to back off the 4.6 or so now at this point. Now bumping up to the 5.7. So definitely finding a little bit more power to work with here. Definitely one of the longest individual time trials ever we are seeing from is that Johnny and Albert over at the Mixer channel. I would definitely have to say it is one of the longest I've ever seen. Huge effort. They did a lap in under 20 minutes, so it will be a race under an hour for the race today. I think it's going to be right around 48 to 50 minutes maybe for the leaders out here today with the kind of times that they were pulling around the course. Moving our way back here, though, we will see in the A category will be Jay Coate bringing in the rear here with Reynolds there as well. We'll give him a ride on as he chases down the other boys. Campbell is here now in the C category, throwing down some huge wattage, actually. Termont is there as well. Without the draft, Termont's going to be struggling, it looks like, a little bit to hang on with the front end of the race today. But he is leading out the B category, being chased down by M. Sooner here out of the USA. And Termont can see him coming. 183 beats per minute, though, here coming from Sooner. Not sure that he's going to be able to hold this, and it may be Sooner that he's going to be backing off. Termont without the heart rate monitor today. Interesting to see it coming out of Belgium. Riding for Vision, though, 3.3 watts per kilogram consistently. Looking through, we are seeing that it is Termont at 3.6 within category limits easily. Sooner there, 3.7 watts per kilogram, as well as Jay Wright there at 3.5. A lot of riders actually newer to, it looks like, racing out on Zwift today. Jay Coate, M. Sooner, Jay Wright. Thanks a lot, you guys, for joining into the races. 3.5 watts per kilogram come from C. Stevenson, who's a little ways back from these boys chasing down Termont, only 22 seconds back. We'll go ahead and give him a ride on. He's put out a solid 3.5 watts per kilogram, though, for the duration of the race here. So definitely going to be upgraded if he holds on to this pace for the rest of the... Well, actually, no, he'll be upgraded because he's a 20-minute effort is already out there and registered. So definitely well into the red of the C category. RC Esla there, 3.4 watts per kilogram coming from him out of Poland in the B category. Just a little ways back here, 52 seconds back from Stevenson. As you can see, the Race of Truth on the TT bike is a totally different effort. A lot of these riders who might be in and amongst the front end of a race that have dynamic power might not have the staying power, though, and the static power of a time trial, just the raw power that it takes over the duration of the race. They might have something that's more dynamic, something a little more of a kick over and over and over again, then sit in and wait, and then kick, and then sit in and wait. But the TT takes a very different type of effort here, and as you can see now, the riders are definitely all broken apart, and their actual raw mano a mano ability level is being shown exactly for what it is. B. McCall now catching right on up to Robinson for that Team Type 1 team, and it looks like McCall's going to go right on by. 2.8 watts per kilogram. Now backing off a little bit, actually. Maybe putting in too much of an effort coming out of Ireland here to catch up to the rest of it looks like Jay Robinson McCall there trying to go right on by, now being caught up again and not going much of any range. Offered now 28 seconds back here with Hasty in that C category. Stockvik there. Usually these boys from the TFC team are all together working together, but it looks like today there is not going to be any working together as a group. It's just going to be every man for himself in the TT effort. 172, 171. And this is the thing, is that Zwift racing is painful. Hold on to the wheel in front of you, non-stop pedaling. This is even more so today because there is no resting up whatsoever, just a rising heart rate the entire time and then holding it right on the edge of the power that you can hold for the entire duration of the race. We are seeing Kim Little about halfway through his race here, lap and a half to go here, 5.3 watts per kilogram, still with Bailey within his sights, 21 seconds up now, 428 watts, 158, right on the edge of what he can hold. The heart rate has been rising rising here. 162 now coming from Kim Little. He's going to have to hold on to that effort that he knows he can hold through the whole duration here. The suffering is really starting to kick in now, though. 162 beat sprint, 449 watts. He's looking for a few more seconds, it looks like, as he kicks it into 6 watts per kilogram on this false flat. And I have a feeling we're going to see, maybe if this is a well done time trial, you actually will see the same power all the way through, and maybe a little bit of a rise of power toward the back end of the TT. With only about 20 minutes to go in his effort here, he's most likely, maybe a little more than 20 minutes to go in his effort, he's most likely going to slightly rise, maybe, if he's conserved enough, maybe start to see a little bit of a rise in the power rather than a drop, and then getting faster and faster, just by micro amounts, though, throughout the race. If he has mismanaged his effort, he will start backing off little by little by little and find himself at maybe a full watt per kilogram less at the back end of the race from what he started. Bailey, that we might be starting to see that from him as he's rising into the 160 here. 150s, high 150s seem to be the area where he's unable to hold on to. Will the Tour de Oz be streamed? We are working on it, BJ Alfonso. We were not sure until earlier today, and then we started working on it. We're going to try and make it happen, BJ. Still working on it, though. I believe we will be able to make it happen, but it's not 100% right now, as we need to get some clearances to make it happen. So, but we definitely want to stream the Tour de Oz. Looking through here over at the Twitch channel. How's it going, guys? Sticky Bottles in there. Looks like Kieran as well. Why so salty? I am seeing Pedal Power Jersey. Little by little, love it. Nathan, are you streaming Tour de Oz? Another question there. See that? Rogers dying by death sounds like a dodgy. Oh my goodness. Jaguar. Hilarious. And what is going on with Rogers at this point? He's sat up, not doing a whole lot anymore. What is going on here, Rogers? Come on, go with the Tiger, BJ Alfonso is saying over there. Speaking of Barrero Martinez, but it doesn't look like it's going to happen. He's most likely talking a little bit about the different reasons that he was not able to hold on to the pace today. Come on now, Rogers. Maybe a reset. You know, the best thing to do, I know it was an FTP test today as well for you. One of the best things to do, Rogers, is to, after an effort like that, even if it was failed, is to come back the next day, actually, immediately the next day, and try again, because the openers there will probably actually help out to wake up your body. I know you rested a lot before your FTP test. A lot of times, that much rest is not going to be helpful. Riding just the day before and resting the entire week is not a lot of times what you want to do. You want to ride at least 3, maybe 4 times, including the FTP test that week. Maybe even ride every day, but just chill for those tests. So definitely maybe give it another go tomorrow. I have a feeling you'll feel a lot better tomorrow after trying to throw down the effort today. Don't rest more at this point with how much you've been taking off in order to get ready for this test. So Bailey here now and Kim Little. This is going to be the questions here within the A category. Straczynski is now a full minute 7 back, so definitely a rider who's strong to hang with the pack, but the TT effort not quite the same as the likes of Kim Little here. Burton here still holding on to a solid 4th place, and it's a battle between him and Peter here. 4.6 watts per kilogram. This is the reality of Zwift here, where you can see the actual effort of all of the riders in the TT around you. You can match it, and the race of truth against yourself starts to become a little bit more of a race against the numbers, though, that you are seeing out on course, that will push you even further, I think, than you could ever be pushed in a time trial when you're just racing against yourself or against your own numbers, because you can see exactly what those other riders are putting out up ahead of you and try and match those numbers. We are seeing for Burton, though, it was right into that 170 to 172. Now it's rising to 174, 175 here, and we're seeing the power start to drop just a little bit here. 4.4, 4.3. We saw it in the 5s almost there for a little while for Burton, but now the reality of a 4.0 is starting to kick in for an FTP. We'll see how much more he can handle, and actually, we're starting to see that some of these 20-minute efforts from these riders are based more on a dynamic power. We have seen Burton up into a high 4s before for the duration of a race, but it's the dynamic power of a full-on climb into like 6-7 watts per kilogram that's been bringing those numbers up. Perhaps we'll have to see if he can raise this up and bring that heart rate any higher and try and grab onto Szerzynski and go right on by here. 130 up is going to be Kim Little. The battle between him and Bailey is really starting to pan out. We are seeing a 6 watts per kilogram here. The Go-Go Power Ranger off the front here, still pacing the rest of the boys. It's definitely a pace car, it seems like, at this point, to see who can hold on to the Power Ranger type effort now. Bailey trying to stay away from the monster Kim Little, 6.0 watts per kilogram, 5.0 now. We're seeing 165 beats per minute, trying to close down that 12 seconds at this point. Not sure he's going to be able to make it happen, though, out here today. Bailey, though, I think it might happen. 12 seconds. He's closed down the full-on 30 at this point. There's no group to be working with him as he heads into the volcano here. Things are heating up, 162 beats per minute still here. Keeping it very steady, very smart effort here actually from Kim Little in this TT. Let's go ahead and look back at some of these past races and see what's going on. Ask him where his Cyclogent rankings are, Jaguar is saying. And we also see, bless him, only 17. We should be more constructive for him. Kev Stevens saying, okay. And Jaguar saying, nah, not going to happen. Rogers was playing Eye of the Tiger song. Come on, Mr. Rocky. What is going on? We do have our social media integration over at the Facebook as well. We'll definitely bring some of this in. Good luck, Nathan, and TFC coming in from Simon Curry, and Go-Go Rogers coming in from BJ Alfonso. Less talk, more ride coming in from Lee Prouty over there as well. BJ Alfonso is saying, or will Nathan race it? I am not racing the Tour de Oz. I am okay. I don't need to put my hat in for those trainers. I want you guys to win the trainers out there today. Jeff R. Edwards is saying, just got back from hospital. Good luck, guys and girls. Sorry I couldn't ride. Jeff, I'm going to check out your profile and see what happened here. I don't like to hear that at all. And I hope everything is going all right, Jeff. Oh yeah, I saw actually, excuse me, I am sorry. I just saw the post actually a little while ago. I wasn't sure who we were looking at there. And best of like well wishes, prayers, and thoughts for you to get well soon. Rob Hampton saying, this guy is a masher. Good to see you, Rob. We are seeing Diane. Diane, long time no see. Good to see you back into the channel over at Facebook. And good to see. I hope you're jumping into a few races and rides out there lately. ZA is starting up. Are you going to be joining in, Diane, to the ZA-led rides as well as to the Zwift Academy? Have you signed up and registered? Love to hear more about that. Actually, let's hear if there's anybody out there watching who has signed up for the Zwift Academy. Be cool to hear all about anybody's journey into the world of Zwift Academy. Lee Prouty with the mad face as usual over at the Facebook. Always hilarious to see Lee with his chiming in on it. Looking through here, seeing if there's any more comments coming through. If you have any questions, this is over at the Mixer channel. For those yet that are new to this, this is a massive multiplayer online game in which riders are pushing each other right now in with actual control of the game from power in the pedals. We are seeing a back off here from Kim on the downhill. It might be because of a smart trainer source. I don't think so though. I think it's, I'm pretty sure he is on a strain gauge power meter here, still putting out 5.5 watts per kilogram, 162 beats per minute. 11 seconds is all it is. Bailey went out crazy hot, absolutely flying out of the US of A here. Still putting out 4.4, 4.3, but he was well into the fives for quite some time. Now at 32 minutes into this effort, 10 seconds is the difference between him and Kim is looking for the W today now with this final lap. 10 seconds, definitely closable. That's about what he closed on the last lap. But Kim, now we're seeing him starting to fade into that 4.4 and then driving into a 5 watt per kilogram. over and over again, the fluctuations are getting higher and higher, and that is definitely usual in a TT effort. When you start to fade, you try and find that extra effort. You're trying to find that extra oomph to try and make that happen out on course, as it's extremely difficult to push through the pain. The lactic acid is definitely going to be building up to its maximum at this point of what he can possibly hold. All he has left is less than about 15 minutes here out on course. So 33 in, about 15 minutes to go. What can Kim Little do to pull this off here? 4.6 watts per kilogram. Bailey's only 8 seconds up. Can he hold off Kim? Can he find a little bit more? And this is this race of attrition against the two riders at this point. 8 seconds is the difference. And you can see, because there's no draft, because there is no pack at this point, it's all about the minute efforts between them to find that 1 second at the time. And Kim Little is like just doing this. It's almost like he's ice sculpting right now, this like just chiseling away to create this perfect race right now to try and take the W. But Bailey, at the same time, who went out super hot, went out crazy hard, gained a full-on almost 40-50 seconds, and now has been just picked away at by Kim Little. But now it's going back out at this point. Maybe the raw power too much. Can he hold on to this 8 seconds all the way to the line? It's going to be between these two riders at the front end of this race. Again, Prozac here up at the front. On the, is that a joke, the Prozac there, actually? Am we being trolled? Prozac here, 5.0 watts per kilogram. He is on a Go-Go Power Rangers Z Power, so he cannot actually win the race today, just so you guys know, because of his power source. 6 seconds, though, between him and Bailey, and they're just using him as a pace car at this point. Kim Little now, again, down to 6. There goes another second as they make their way through the underwater tunnel on Ocean Boulevard. It's a race between these two. They have walked away from the rest of the groups, as Piszczynski here out of Poland has gone back by 154. Burton here, still a race between these two boys. 23 seconds is closable, but Burton is going to have the race of his life for the final lap here. 182 beats per minute. As we said, you don't want to go right up into that VO2 max type heart rate. You don't want to be over threshold immediately right from the gun. You want this last lap to be about 1 or 2 beats over threshold, and then go into that final 5 minutes absolutely everything you got. 10 beats over threshold, all out VO2 max effort to try and get to the line. And it's the riders who have timed it right will continually raise their heart rate through the entirety of the race. The riders who have not timed those effort right and have not managed them correctly, you will see them fade and the heart rates drop below threshold before the finish of the race out here. So Burton now 5.1 watts per kilogram. Piszczynski now 4.8. The difference between him is 20 seconds. Burton is closing the gap down. Hodges here 55 seconds back. Not sure we're going to see him back at the front of the race at all. He's raced almost every day this week. Definitely hammered away a solid effort here, but 56 seconds back. Probably not going to see the top 4 again today. Kim Little now only he's actually caught Bailey. Excuse me, we missed the catch. He's caught Bailey out here. 4.4 watts per kilogram for Bailey. Bailey now being caught, maybe a little bit of a wind out of his sails. Kim Little comes by and actually puts another little dig in. It's a little bit of a punch to the kidney as he goes by there. 5.9 watts per kilogram, 6 watts per kilogram, up and out of the climbing here. And I think he wants to really put some distance immediately between him and Bailey so that there is no hope left for the catch. Kim Little now into 6 watts per kilogram, 166 beats per minute. Looks like he's going to be taking the W today out here on Zwift. So solid effort here coming from Kim Little. Looks like we've got a lot of new viewers popping into the channel today. I'm not sure if we got a host or no. It just looks like we were given the middle spot over on the feature tab. But welcome to the channel, everybody. For those of you just tuning in, there's probably a ton of questions flowing in right now. What are we looking at? This is Zwift Live Racing, massive multiplayer online game where people are actually riding in on their bikes right now to control these avatars, to push them forward right now at 28 miles per hour for Kim Little out of Great Britain. International field, we've got all kinds of countries actually represented in the race today. It is a time trial today, so for those of you who have tuned in before, it's a very different type of race today as to the regular road races. Every rider in the race today is on a TT bike. They have to ride on a TT bike in order to be qualified for the race. And the TT bike in Zwift is unable to draft actually on any of the other bikes. So it makes it a race of a truth, mass start race. So that's kind of the cool thing about Zwift when you're running a time trial on Zwift, is that a lot of times when you run a time trial in real life, you have to start all the riders very separated from each other. You usually separate them out, I think, about 30 seconds to a minute. If you're watching the Tour de France, you watch the prologue, you can see exactly how that works. But in time trials, real life, you can't start them right next to each other. Riders will be drafting on each other. Time trial bikes are a little bit, actually difficult to manage. And so a lot of times there could be problems actually with crashing and different kinds of things. And it's kind of dangerous actually to start them all together. In Zwift, totally different. Time management's a lot easier because you can start them all right next to each other and nobody is going to be able to draft off each other. It's just a race of truth from the get-go. And it also gives you the ability to see exactly what the other riders in the TT are doing and match their efforts or try and better them. So the cream of the crop rises to the top and pushes each other even more. And that's really where indoor cycling has been outdone actually with Zwift. And the social aspect of it really pushes these riders on. Before the finish up here, definitely for those who are just tuning in, this is a great little promo that Zwift has put together. Gives you exactly an idea of what is going on here for those of you who might not understand even, like, what are you talking about? People are riding bikes. You can actually hook up any bike to Zwift. Hook it up through a speed sensor, through a power meter, or a smart trainer. Gives you all the metrics in game. If you have a smart trainer, you actually do feel the gradients, as you can see here from E. Jones in just a second. You'll see her. There's the gradients in game. She's currently up, standing up and climbing in that promo there. And then we do have other challenges in the game that you can do, like workout mode that you'll see here in a second, that actually changes the user interface actually, so you can see wattages that you need to hold in order to complete workout mode. You get little stars next to your name for completing each one of, or next to the intervals that you do. You actually get little stars next to each interval if you complete it correctly and hold the power. So it actually motivates you to do the workout that's been scheduled for you, or the one that you've created. KOM banner there that you can see they're going after. That's for a jersey you can win in game and hold for 1 hour straight in the real world. Or in the whole world. You can actually have it and hold on to a KOM jersey, a sprint jersey, an epic KOM jersey, a volcano KOM jersey, lots of jerseys in game to grab and battle others for actually. Right now we don't see any data for those at all because we're on the flat course and there is no jerseys for the flat course. But that gives you an idea of exactly what is going on right now between these riders if you're just tuning in. If you have any questions, go ahead and bring them our way actually. And it's GTA 5 base Mink says, and Be Cool on Game says, hi, how's it going, Frequent Mass 8? Good to see all you guys tuning in. Wow, 164 viewers over at the Mixer channel. Good to see all you guys tuning in. Welcome to Zwift Racing in the Primal-Europe Friday Criterium. Big thank you to Primal-Europe for the support of the Friday Criteriums. They're giving away some pairs of socks as well as jerseys to the series leaders for a lot of the Friday Criterium series and races. So thank you so much to the Primal-Europe for putting that together for those giveaways. Kim Little looks to be walking away with this one at this point. 4.7 watts per kilogram, 23 seconds up from Bailey. We do see Rogers, who is actually also streaming Zwift right now over at Rogers Got Lap. Big C-Mac-D is laughing at his teammate there, actually. Good to see a big C-Mac-D over at the Mixer channel. And Rogers was trying to do an FTP test. I think he'll be back tomorrow for his FTP test. We are seeing, it looks like Hodges and Burton here chasing him down, as well as Szerzynski here. But the battle is still here between Kim Little and Bailey. I don't think Bailey's going to see him again, and Kim Little going to be taking the win there for Team Experimental out on course. That's something we haven't talked about actually at all yet on the race broadcast. Kim Little rides for a team in game called Team Experimental. They're one of the oldest teams actually in game. I believe the first team in game that was like formed in Zwift was Team Z, I believe, but I may be incorrect about that. Now that is Team WBR. They've always rode for a charity. But Kim Little here for Team Experimental. They originally had adopted the Alienware kit, and that's why you're seeing here this kit looking like an Alienware computer symbol, because they used that and then designed their own and then put their real-life sponsors onto this kit that they had designed. Kim Little here hammered away. They win a lot of races. Team Experimental, absolutely awesome. They also put together the CVR World Cup presented by Cycling Gen, which is actually putting together races that we had in Las Vegas where I was a part of with real-life esports racing. They're putting the sport in esport, Team Experimental as well as CVR. We had a race in London as well. Real-life riders got into an arena next to each other on verified power sources and hammered away. We were at the Millennial Esports Arena actually in Las Vegas, where the Xbox Championship, Halo Championships, I believe, were held in that arena as well. Just a couple weeks before we were there. It was really cool to see that setup and broadcast that there. Then we also had the CVR World Cup in London, where there were some solid efforts with the UK versus the world effort. Kim Little was also at that one. I believe he took, I think it was second place at that, right behind Tim Cartwright, followed up by the legend who is Adrian Timmis, ex-Tour de France rider, in third place, I believe. Solid effort here for Kim Little, 4.7 watts per kilogram. Looks like Team Experimental will be taking the W here. We are seeing then Bailey here from the Friday Criterium team, 156 beats per minute. As you can see, he was trying to hold off Little, and he had to get that heart rate up in that 165 range, but he maxes out right around 170-ish, and no more. He had nothing more to give, and as you can see, he's dropped a full watt per kilogram at this point, it looks like, from what he was holding earlier on in the race. Went out too hot, it looks like, here for the duration of 1 hour straight. Kim Little, though, as we can see here, has kept it extremely steady for the duration of the race. His TT so far for his 20-minute best out here today has been right on 5 watts per kilogram for 20 minutes straight. 5 watts per kilogram has been the max of his average so far, right on the dot here. Now fading below 4.4. We'll see if he can hold on to that for that 20-minute. Well, he's produced 20 minutes at 5.0. That was his best so far. And it doesn't look like he's going to be catching Prozac on the crazy Z-Power EPO out here today, but definitely going to be taking the W from the rest of the riders out here. So, and Big Mac D is saying, turbo riding is brutal in July. I'll reappear in October. Roger's saying, I can do 330 normalized power for 10 minutes in real life, flexing his muscles a little bit there in the mirror there, Rogers. Hey, good to hear it, though, for sure. Checking out the social media integration. If you ever want to tweet at us, you can do so by tweeting at Z Community Live. We love to see your setups out on Zwift. We love to see comments coming at us as well as interaction over there. Good luck on the recovery, Jeff Cyclops is saying. Cyclops, good to see you hanging out in the broadcast as always. Good to have you guys here and hanging out, and definitely good luck on the recovery to Jeff R. Edwards. Russell Joliffe is saying, enjoyed your wife's video on concussions. Been there, done that. Yeah, Russell over at the Facebook channel is chatting to us about the Life in Cycling with Mrs. Coach feature that we have. Actually, we should definitely check that out, especially if you want coaching tips on different ways of losing weight, getting to race weight. She did a thing on concussions. She just had a concussion, a career-ending almost concussion, actually, as far as racing mountain bikes. Maybe we're going to see as far as the future. The risk seems a little too high, but she's been able to bring her mental facility as well as like her ability to just like function in real life to almost normal completely, actually, very quickly with her methods of getting back to normal with some diet changes, some other things that she's doing for that. So definitely a great video on concussions to be checking out when it comes to Lindsay, her racing, as well as what she's doing about that. Life in Cycling with Mrs. Coach. You can always find our VODs on any of our channels, Twitch, Mixer, YouTube, as well as over on our Facebook. But she does a lot of other stuff besides obviously recovery from injuries, but that was the most recent one. A lot of great coaching advice in there from a top end mountain biker at the elite level. And as well as women's cycling is another thing. Great topics there about balancing life with cycling. That's why we call it Life in Cycling with Mrs. Coach. Heading back on over to the Mixer channel, Doubting Bison is saying, hi, what game is he playing? So I am actually commentating on a race right now. It's a TT though, so it's not as much of a dynamic race today. It's more about just watching the effort of the riders that are being put out. But this is called Zwift. The control is actually from a real life effort that is being put out by the riders on a bike in the UK. Kim Little right now hammering away at 4.1 watts per kilogram, 330 watts. I believe he's on a Wahoo kicker with a cork power meter, I want to say, perhaps. I'm not exactly positive which one that he is on. D. Bailey is there as well, chasing him down. But as you can see, for 2.2 watts per kilogram, we said it earlier, there wasn't going to be, there was going to be a fading most likely with how hotly he went out for the contention of this race. 47 seconds going out. Kim now give us a little show. 1,100 watts, killer sprint, 14 watts per kilogram, flexing his sprint muscle for us here a little bit. Solid effort there, Kim. Bailey now bringing it in for second. He's not going to be getting caught though out there today. Looks like Bailey's going to be able to hold this, hold on to this second place effort out there. 125 beats per minute there though. And then it looks like Szerzynski, they're still battling it out with Burton. Now here's the thing, when you're still, Bailey's got the pleasure of just being able to hang out a little bit at the end there. 0.5 watts per kilogram, bring it across the line, good game, and held on to that second place after absolutely suffering. 49 minutes though, think about this right now, 49 minutes for Peter Szerzynski here at 171 beats per minute at the hardest effort that he can possibly hold for the duration of the race. And it's only 20 seconds between him and Burton at this point. Szerzynski is just dying, waiting for that finish line at this point. And Burton is like, it's only 20 seconds. Come on. Not enough landscape left. But it looks like Szerzynski is the one who's going to have to hold off, as Hodges is not going to be catching Burton today. So Szerzynski able to hold on to that third place out on course. Burton is going to have to settle for fourth in the A category for the TFC boys. Let's see if we get any kicks to the line here. 172 beats per minute coming from Poland here for Peter Szerzynski. Getting a ride on right before he crosses the line here. 6 watts per kilogram coming from Peter. Also a contender in the CVR World Cup over in London, actually, for those live races. Solid effort here coming from Peter. 174 beats per minute now. And then now we're looking at Burton, 189. This guy beats quite a bit higher than Szerzynski now. 5.7 watts per kilogram, trying to hold off Mr. Hodges now. Looks like that's an easy task, as he has definitely opened up a huge gap over on Hodges. Hodges, though, has been racing almost every day this week, I believe. James Hodges riding for the KISS Racing Team, actually. A team in-game that puts on a lot of races, actually, as well. You've been able to watch the KISS Racer Focus with Ian Anderson on Thursday and Tuesday mornings, actually. If you haven't checked that out, make sure to do so. You can actually see our full list of races, as well as schedule and rides, group rides, races, workout rides that we do and broadcast here on Zwift Community Live at zwiftcommunitylive.com. Make sure to head on over there so you can see exactly all of the coverage that we do. Jay Coate now making his way to the line in the A category. Looks like he's going to be taking down that 6th place. And then C. Campbell in the C category. I think he's going to be getting an upgrade, as he's been holding over 3.2 maybe for the duration of the race here. He's actually beating one of the strongest B riders there at 6.3 watts per kilogram, Timothy Termont there, trying to hold on. This is actually a great battle to watch play out here. Termont trying to close it down for Vision Cycling here, coming out of Belgium. And no hurry monitor on the ride rider there, but see Stevenson's only a little ways up at this point. 16 seconds with that climb in front of him. Can Termont kick it and close down the gap? It's going to be about the continuance up over the top of this climb here and holding on to the speed that he does build up here. Stevenson now 17 seconds up at this point. A lot of landscape left to close that down, but 17 seconds in a TT is absolutely huge. Jay Wright here able to hold off Stevenson. Race of truth against these boys at this point. They can see everything that the others are putting out. Always so much suffering out there in a TT to the line. Cote now making his way to the line, 174 beats per minute. Solid effort for him. Going to be taken down, I believe it is 6th place out there for the A category. Campbell now 3.2 watts per kilogram here, a little ways back in that C category. Going to double check what's going on with his effort. Fire Phoenix, how's it going? Says hi. This game looks slow, fun though. So Man of War right now, here's the thing. We're in, it's a TT, so everyone's kind of solo. It's not the most dynamic race out there. A lot of times when you jump into a race later today, we'll be doing the Tour de Oz. I believe we're going to be doing the Tour de Oz. That's going to have 200 plus racers signed up for it right now, actually, that will all be doing I think a mass start, actually. I have to double check whether or not they're doing a mass start or if they're doing categories separated out. But the Tour de Oz, they're giving away a kicker snap, as well as I believe a ticker, which is this guy right here, Wahoo ticker. It's a heart rate monitor. They're giving away a bunch of stuff for those who complete those 10 races. So it's kind of like the Tour de France there, matching that up with the same timing with the Tour de France and doing giveaways for those who participate. Nice job to Campbell kicking it right to the line there. But for those who participate in all the races, they get entered into the Tour de Oz giveaways, and you can win a Wahoo kicker, a kicker snap, and I believe it is a ticker. Don't quote me on that. I have to double check those. So yeah, this isn't going to be as dynamic of the race, a little bit slower when it comes to what's happening, but you definitely have open world racing against a lot of riders. Actually, 200 is small compared to what it gets to be in winter for the Northern Hemisphere. Some of our races, actually, we've seen up to 700 riders show up for the really big ones, where there's some big giveaways or something like that happening in the winter. World Championships, we've seen GCN rides that have over 1,000 riders show up. I mean, there's been some crazy. We've had rides show up. So many riders show up to some of the events that they essentially just like broke Zwift. Like it was like Zwift was like, oh my, they were a newer game at the time, and they were like maybe a little bit unprepared for how popular it was going to be, and like it was absolutely insane how many people were logging in at one time to get involved. 1,423 is the most Rogers is saying he believes. Yeah, so definitely for those ones, especially as we get into the Northern Hemisphere winter, we get a ton of riders showing up. I think today we're going to have 250 to 300 riders, though, show up for the Tour de Zwift. I'll be trying to get on to commentate that 4 hours from now. So, yeah, Man of War, it's going to be crazy. 304 over at the Zwift Community Live Mixer. Guys, thanks, everybody, for tuning in. If you haven't done so, make sure to hit that follow button over here for all things Zwift. Tonight, as well, we will have Zuskana's ride, actually. She has a women's intro ride, 1.5 watts per kilogram. You're watching racing right now at a pretty high level. These racers are able to hold on to a fairly high level of effort that you're watching here. Now we did go out into the rest of the world here. As you can see, we'll do a quick little update for all of you as to exactly what is going on between all the riders here. Our Lopez coming out of Spain, hammering away on the Go-Go Power Rangers, right along with Halliday coming out of the UK. Looks like our Britain here has the Epic KOM jersey out there, actually, as you can see, hammering away up toward the KOM as well, 190 beats per minute, looking to maybe grab the other KOM jersey, which is at this KOM banner here, hammering away pretty steadily here. But as you can see, this is open world now. I left the event because the riders I was with actually have gone away, have finished their event. It says 17 more in group because I'm still a part of the group out on course, actually. But this is the open world where you can start going through all of the riders who are out on course. It is massive multiplayer online. All the riders, when you go into what you would think of as an open world or free mode, you can go and ride with anybody who is out there that you're a friend with. You can click ride with when you first log in, or you jump in at the the start finish line and you select the course that you want to do, and you can go out and do challenges. Go ahead and try and grab the sprint jersey, the lap jersey, the KOM, epic KOM. There's a mountain route. I mean, there's so much. Actually, off in the distance there, you can actually see the mountain that you can climb up to the radio tower there. And if you actually have a smart trainer, you actually feel the gradients in the game actually that are coming at you if you have a smart trainer. Or there's workout mode, as you can see here, that Jay Revis is up to. Hammer away 158. He's at about, it looks like, a tempo or endurance type effort right now out there on course, using that workout mode, looking steady and solid. So for the results, though, real quick, let's go over those before we keep talking about what this game is. We'll do a little bit more about that in just a moment, but definitely want to get to the results before we move on. Looks like Pierre Prozac took the W, but that will not count as he was on ZP. On Z Power, that is a non-strain gauge or smart trainer source, and was well over 3.99 watts per kilogram. I actually am going to add this as a source into the broadcast here so that you guys can see exactly what I am talking about here when it comes to the rider out here today for the results, actually. So real quick here's the desktop. I'm gonna just throw it right into the middle of the broadcast, actually fade that right on in. So this is zwiftpower.com. It actually gives you live results for all of the rides that are going on. Here is, let's actually head on over here to the front page really quickly, and you can actually see all of the different rides that are taking place on races that are taking place, along with a link to actually the past results for them. Okay, and so here's the Primal-Europe Friday Criterium, the TT race we just were broadcasting. 37 kilometers, 3 laps on the Volcano Flat. Upcoming stuff that's happening, the EVR Europe race starting right now, actually 2 p.m. it looks like. And then we also have, this is in British time though. If I logged in on my account, it would change over to Central Standard Time. We were talking about the Zwift Tour to Oz that's taking place midnight UK time, but it'll be 6 p.m. Central Time. But then you can go ahead and click on any of these races, and you can actually see the results from the races. This will not be updated yet because the race organizer needs to go through and make sure everything's correct, but you can click on the live tab, and it actually updates for you live with preliminary results. As you can see in the red numbers there with Z Power right here, was on Zwift, Zwift Power, Go Power Rangers Z Power. So that is not a source that you can use to have that kind of wattage, as it is based on a speed sensor rather than a smart trainer or a strain gauge. Kim Little takes the W, then followed by David Bailey, then Peter Szczynski for the top 3 in the A category. Chris Campbell then in the C category. He's going to get an upgrade though. You see this red here, 3.4 watts per kilogram. That means that he is over category limit for the C category. C category riders are supposed to be able to hold somewhere between 2.5 and 3.2 watts per kilogram. So he will get an upgrade to the B category. That's so that everybody has somebody to race against. As you can see, Clyde Stevenson will also get an upgrade. Jeff Wright here takes the W, though, in the B category. That's within category limits. It is 3.2 to 4.0 for the B category. Then Timothy Termont, second place, followed by Craig Reynolds. Solid effort for all of those riders. C category rider will be Andrew Robertson for Team Type 1. They support Team Type 1 Diabetes. You can actually see all the teams that they ride for, as you can see here along this line. You can see the time they finished in, the distance that they did, the 20-minute top effort that they had. That's actually one of the most important metrics in racing. A lot of Z-Power here, actually. Boom, boom, boom. Those guys all are going to have to maybe check in a little bit with the guys over at Zada. Maybe. We'll have to see. A-Riders usually the only ones that actually get that. You have the history of races. Now, here's another cool thing. Kim Little, right, took the W today. Click on his name. The entire past results, 154 races, Zada approved, which means he has submitted real life strain gauge power meter files actually to Zada, which is the Zwift Anti-Doping Association. So you know that the effort that he's putting out in game matches what he has shown he can do with a strain gauge power meter, which is accurate within about 1 to 2% in real life actually. He's got an estimated FTP of 352 watts, massive. He rides actually in real life for the Merida factory team. And also little team experimental in game, actually. Primal-Europe just took that win. You can see all the past results for him. Lots of gold medals there, as you can see, for the man, Kim Little. Super, super strong rider in real life as well as in the world of Zwift. So that's ZwiftPower.com. That's the races for today, as you can see. Solid effort to all the riders out there. Congratulations to them, all the way back to John Alford there, taking a top 10 there in the C category. Super great effort to all of the riders. So right on back over to the world of Zwift. Let's definitely have a chat there for anybody who still has any questions, as I'm assuming there's going to be a ton of them coming through over at the Mixer channel. This honestly looks like the thing coming in until you realize the effort is actually being done, and this is so cool. T. Mitch has said, yep, I totally get that. You're like, okay, what's going on here? Why aren't we just playing the Tour de France game, right? Like, a lot of times that's like, that seems so much cooler. And then you realize that these are actual real people putting out real efforts in an international field of riders who are all getting together and pushing each other in the game. It's absolutely amazing. A lot of fun. This is the first time I've seen this, so I Googled everything to make sure I knew what was going on. Zwift is freaking cool, T. Mitch has said. How did I not know about this? Well, now you do. We've started to broadcast on Mixer and Twitch and YouTube with a lot more of a push into those areas, and I think it's really catching the eyes of a lot of the people out there that haven't been able to catch on to it. Really, it's been a lot of word of mouth, I think, and a lot of through the cycling networks, right, that we've been getting it out there. And I think now that we're starting to reach out to a place like Mixer, a place like Twitch, places like YouTube, and hitting up some of those other communities out there, they're starting to go, whoa, hey, I ride a bike. I like to go to the spin classes. I like to, or whatever it is, I like to just be in shape. I can ride a bike. I'd like to check this out. And I like games. I like MMOs. I'm going to go hang out with this community, guys, and better myself through the power of bicycles. So as you can see here, this is the Queen of the Mountain jersey, actually. This is, she has taken the Queen of the Mountain jersey. There's Queen of the Mountain as well as King of the Mountain jerseys out on Zwift. Looks like she is flying out there. Deanne now, though, she's the next rider out on course going to be taking that Queen of the Mountain, it looks like. So again, if you've never seen Zwift, make sure to stick around. I'm going to show you guys a quick little promo, and we will be back in a couple hours with the Tour de Oz race out on Zwift. You are going to see a much different race than what you saw just now. Just now you saw a TT. It was all about a race of truth against the other riders. What can you do for raw power? When it comes to races that are not TTs, that are just straight up road race style, there is drafting in game. There are power-ups. There's a whole different dynamic that goes on at that point. So definitely want to stick around or hit that follow button on the channel, and you will see in about 4 hours time from now a full-on road race style against a bunch of racers signing in. I think we're going to have somewhere between 250, 300 riders. I have to double check on the Zwift mobile link to see how many have signed up, but we were over 12 hours out from the race, and there were 185 signed up, somewhere around there actually, just a few hours ago. So, and that's probably going to keep on rising over the next 4 hours as more and more people find out that this event is going on, and they can see that they can win actual prizes by competing in the entirety of the Tour de Zwift, the 10 races that are going on throughout the Tour de France here. This whole concept makes so much sense to me, and I'm glad it's being done so well. Awesome, Team Mitch. I want to do this so bad, but I don't want to spend $500 on a trade. There are trainers that are a little bit cheaper than that, dude, Steve. Make sure you go and check out all the compatible trainers over at Zwift.com. Definitely do not have to get the $500 level. There's definitely trainers that are at a lower price point than that, dude, Steve, as well as speed sensors that can get you in on the Z Power just to check out the game and get involved in the game. And not even just check out, you can definitely get a good power reading from Z Power. You got to make sure that it's set up correctly, but you can get a fairly accurate one. And then at the same time, if you want to get involved in racing or anything like that, you can still race really well. If you get into the A categories, though, and you start like killing it, you might want to start asking a couple of questions about your Z Power if you're not an experienced cyclist. And then from there, you know, get involved and then obviously upgrade down the line. I have Garmin stuff, speed, and cane. There you go, dude. Steve, sounds like you can get in. I have a trainer and a bike. What kit should I get? Yeah, I mean, if you got those things, I mean, you're solid. If you got the speed sensor that has ANT+, download the free trial and do the free trial. You should be able to hang, you're going to need an ANT+ dongle, though. That's the only thing it sounds like that's left. It's a little USB stick that picks up the ANT+ signal from your speed sensor. So that's the last little bit of kit that I haven't been talking about. You need the thing that picks up the signal from either your speed sensor, your smart trainer, or your power meter. So that's obviously computers don't have ANT+ wireless ability in them. I don't know of one that does. So you got to have the little ANT+ dongle. But no, yes, if you do have a Bluetooth source, you can do it on your iPad and your iPhone. You got to make sure you have the right iOS version. And I'm not sure on all the versions. Make sure you go check on that. But you can download the app actually through the App Store actually. Through your iOS, and you can use it on iOS. You cannot use it on Android yet, but they're heading that way. That's in development right now. Dude, Steve, love all the questions, man. Keep them coming. Keep them coming. Absolutely love it. Again, for those of you who are just tuning in, keep the questions coming. We'll play a couple of more promos here real quick for those who are just tuning in. Again, this is what Zwift is. Yeah, no problem, dude, Steve. No problem, dude, Steve. I love to let you know everything that is going on. Again, thanks everybody for tuning in. I think we hit the max viewership we've ever had on this channel at about 305 at one point. So really, really great to have all of you here. Quick little promo here from Zwift to give you an idea of what exactly is going on, how you interact with this game called Zwift. They're controlling this game through the power of pedaling on actual bicycles. You also have the Zwift mobile link, as you can see there, that actually is a second controller for you to interact with the game, so you don't have to have a keyboard. You can control it through a keyboard. I got a full setup in front of me so that my handlebars become my keyboard. So my handlebars are so close to the bottom of my desk. I built the desk that actually puts my handlebars right underneath where my keyboard would go, and then my keyboard and my mouse become like my handlebars and actually play other games and Zwift at the same time. This is live. How's it going, Out Game Hacker? Good to see you. Indoor cycling outdone and cycling made social. That is the main two taglines they've had. Zwift.com. Make sure to go head on over there and check it out if you're looking for setups or anything else that you would like to, obviously check out. A lot of cool things on the community tab as well. I actually was just with Zwift and CCP in Iceland doing a race over there. Actually, it was a great event. Actually, I wish I had that video, because love to chat to you guys about what happened over in Iceland a little bit. CCP and Zwift teamed up to win the WOW Cyclothon race, which is a race around the entire perimeter of Iceland, actually 1,360 or so miles, or excuse me, not miles, kilometers actually. Quite the event actually. It was pretty sweet, and the race in Iceland then had Zwift and CCP. CCP, if those of you who don't know, is the maker of EVE Online. Back in 2003, right? That's a 2003 first launched game. So I rode for the CCP team and had a great time working with the Zwift team. Came down to a race in the end, though, and somebody had to win, right? So it was an absolute battle to the line at the end of the race. In like the last 10K, it came down to like 1 minute. Out Gamer has followed the channel. Thank you, Out Game Hacker. Appreciate the follow. Are we suddenly getting follow updates that I didn't see coming through there before, or did Out Game Hacker say that he followed the channel? He said that he followed the channel. I love it. Thanks a lot for the follow there, Out Gamer. I appreciate you very much for the follow. Another little promo I want to show you guys, and gals especially, all the women out there, if you're looking to get involved in a community of riders that are supporting each other and getting stronger and stronger and stronger on the bike. This is something that you want to check out. The Zwift Academy launched last year, provided a professional contract as something to aim at for the Canyon SRAM team in women's professional racing. But at the same time, it was almost more so about that carrot being out there, but allowing everybody to come in together and do group rides together and workouts together and complete the Zwift Academy together amongst a community of women, bettering each other through the power of bicycles and riding together out on Zwift and cycling made social together. The group rides are starting up already for the Zwift Academy. Registration is open, so check this out. Zwift Academy, one of the coolest programs I've ever seen in a massive multiplayer online.
Last year, Zwift Academy opened its doors, launching a groundbreaking worldwide talent search to find the next pro rider for Canyon SRAM racing. The competition exceeded all expectation. Over 1,200 women from 51 countries signed up to take the challenge in Zwift. In a truly grand finale, on the island of Majorca at Canyon SRAM's training camp, Leah Thorvaldsen of Little Rock, Arkansas, was crowned 2016 Zwift Academy champion and the newest member of Canyon SRAM Racing. This year, it could be you.
Oh wow, I could have a shot at a pro contract, but it's for anyone. It's a huge step forward in your own fitness, and so it's not all just about the one person who's going to get a pro contract. It's a win for everyone who's involved.
Zwift Academy is this great program where Zwift is trying to get the women more involved. It's just this huge, to me, a great community. There's women coming up going, I get how this could fit into my life.
What I think is so nice about Zwift Academy, I really think that it was inspiring lots of women to take part in this adventure. Maybe they've gone far beyond their own expectations.
How far I got in Zwift, there were 1,200 females that joined, and there were 100 females that finished Zwift, and I can't believe I was one of them.
Yes, it's hard, but come on, you can do it, you know, just do your best. Because it's not just the physical side, it's the determination and to boost your confidence in anything else you do, not just cycling.
Find out how strong you really are. Find new friends from around the world. Find out if you have what it takes to go pro.
Do not wait, just follow your dreams.
Be the best cyclist you can be. Head over to academy.zwift.com to find out more and sign up today.
So ZA has launched. Register on over at obviously academy.zwift.com, and a lot more to come on that. All right, that'll be it for our broadcast today of the Friday Criterium. I want to thank everybody for tuning in. I want to say congratulations to all the racers out there. It's always a very hard effort to TTs for sure. I want to say thanks to all of those tuning in at Twitch, at Mixer, at the YouTube, as well as the Facebook. I'll do one last look through over our social media integrations. Don't ever miss out on those. If you like to tweet out on Twitter at Z Community Live, you can go ahead and bring in your integration into the broadcast. I can actually give you a few examples of some great tweets that have come at us actually in the last couple of days here. Looking through here for one of the great pics I'm seeing. I'm leaving to head to Watopia now. Taylor Swift, one of our greatest followers. Taylor Swift is always out there lurking in the realms of Twitter to try and tweet at Z Community Live and Nathan Guerra, letting us know that London is over and heading on over to Watopia via a ship to find the island of Watopia. Probably out there looking for Jarvis as well. Let us know if you find it there, Taylor Swift. But if you ever want to interact, you can shoot pictures, comments at us through Twitter at Z Community Live. And we can bring your interactions right on in. We do appreciate them. A few more here. World champion Scotty Weiss out with his kid. He rides a lot of Zwift, actually, and rides for Team Experimental. He's even got the logo for Z Community Live on this shirt there. Pretty cool to see that as well. We've got Team TFC here talking about, what is this? Cheers for the shout out chaps. from Team TFC out there with the Red Devil from the Tour de France there, encouraging everybody on to push it. Johnny Noblet here letting us know what his setup looks like with the kids. He's our productions manager coming out of Edinburgh, actually. Good to see him and little Charlie doing a great job with their setups and their productions there. Charlie learning it. Prentice, who learned from the master, appreciate the comments there. So if you ever want to tweet at us, make sure to do so at Z Community Live, and we will make sure to bring in your social media integrations to all the broadcasts. All right, everybody, that's going to be it for us today. Thanks a lot for everybody for tuning in, at least for right now. I'm going to go stream on my personal channel, Nathan Guerra, that is on Mixer, Twitch, and YouTube. I'll probably be doing some Eve and probably some riding while doing so as well on Zwift. And then later I will be on for the Tour de Oz, and then make sure not to miss tonight Zuskana's. What is Zuskana's Zwift Fitness Women's Gateway Ride, all about introducing women to group riding out on Zwift. It's a 1.5 watt per kilogram average, so super chill. As far as it's not going to be like a highly competitive. It's going to be all about sticking together. And ride leading actually is a whole nother thing in Zwift, where riders actually have a beacon for the riders have a beacon over their head, and you can like follow along and see exactly where the rider's at all times. Actually, it's a really cool feature actually for keeping everybody together out on course. Last one, check see if there's any more comments coming through. And I wouldn't say that, dude, Steve. That was really cool. I think girls are a little... Oh, gotcha, right on. Oh, gotcha. Yeah, it is a little bit. I'd have to agree with you there, Steve. I would agree with you there. Yeah, I agree with you there, dude, Steve, for sure. I wasn't catching it there at first. That's fantastic. Hey, have a great day. This was cool to learn about. Sounds good, T. Mitch. Thanks for tuning in. All right, again, everybody, great job to all the racers. As always, ride on.